Welcome back to the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. This is Nick.
That's my name. I was going to say I'm Nick, but you hopped in over, and that's fair. You are the host.
I am the host.
I am just an idiot that gets to talk about video games with you, so it's pretty nice.
We're back with another episode. Their hot takes, or one big topic for this week, talking about acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions, hot button topic in the game industry right now. And we are going to do a little draft at the end.
Fun one.
Talking about mascots.
Fun draft. I think that I'm going to smoke you after you were like, what mascots, Nick? Are there 10 mascots?
I mean, there are specific ones associated with each console. Then it gets kind of weird. We're going to have to discuss
Are we doing console mascots? Does it have to be console-based?
Yes.
Do you have to point that directly?
Yes.
I thought it was just gaming mascots.
No, you have to point. You should probably say which console it's associated with. Yeah.
I think you can go broad terms.
You can say like Nintendo, Mario, or whatever. Yeah, that's a console mascot across all of them.
I'm just thinking gaming mascots. I'm just going broad, Connor. You're trying to clip my wings early on in this episode. I'm trying to fly out.
Yeah.
All right, you want to hit us with your first hot take?
I'm starting it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Gonna be a doozy.
Yeah.
My gaming hot take for this week is that games have got to be shorter, and I prefer the shorter runtime.
Isn't this already a hot take?
No.
No?
No. Do you want me to restart?
No, you're good.
I'm gonna restart.
Why?
It's not because I talked about the price of games increasing.
Oh, I thought that the shorter games was.
It was part of it, a little bit, but I'm gonna kind of go in depth. It really wasn't the point of it. I'm gonna restart for the
Why
TikTok.
do you need to?
Because I need to restart for the TikTok.
You already like said the opening, and then it just needs to cut to me. You're good. Just keep it rolling.
I'm gonna restart it.
Okay, fine.
All right. My gaming hot take for this week is that I prefer shorter games, and there's a sweet spot here that we're looking for. We're looking for like 12 hours. The games that came out around the PS3 era, your Uncharted's, your Sly Coopers on PS2, those kind of games. Where are they? I want my shorter games at this point. Feel like everything needs to be this long, drawn-out experience. Even the games I love from this last generation and this generation, too damn long. Let's shorten this shit up.
What's the sweet spot? What's the time that you want it to be?
I want 8 to 12 hours is what we're looking for.
So Spider-Man 2, the rumor is 15 hours. Is that a no-go for you?
No, that's fine. I'm saying like that's what I'm looking for, but anywhere around that area is pretty all right with me. And you just have to justify your length. So, for example, The Last of Us Part 1, 12, 13 hours, about perfect length. It justifies its length. Last of Us Part 2, a game that I personally love, too damn long. 25 hours is too long for that story.
It took you 25 hours. It took me 19 hours.
It just dragged a little bit. I like to enjoy my games. It's a nice fine meal, nice little dining experience, and I want to really savor it.
I will say this, for The Last of Us 2 example, there is that moment about halfway through the game where you go, oh, it's got so much time
There's a moment
left.
towards the end of the game, too, where you're like, oh, it's over, right? And then it's like, no, you have another
2 hours.
You have another section of the game.
You got another set piece in there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, we're still going. It's like, all right. I mean, I think it justifies its length on like from a story standpoint. I think it doesn't like really drag at any point for me. But like, I was just like, man, like this game is long. God of War Ragnarok, too long. Cut some of that shit out. Like, I love that game. It's just too damn long. But then there's also games like Persona 5 where you're talking like 100 hours for the original, like 120, 130 for Royal. Like, I could not. I love that game more than anything that's ever been made. Like, it's one of the best games of all time. But I played 60 hours of it, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop for months. And I stopped for months, and then I came back to it, played another 20 hours, stopped, came back to it, finished it out originally or whatever. Still haven't beat Royal. Gotta save that for a rainy day for when I'm looking to get back into Shibuya.
Yeah.
So that game, I do think justifies its length, but it is damn long or whatever, and I need to be really in the mood for one of those. But then you have your games like I said, Uncharted 2, Resident Evil 7, honestly, most of the Resident Evils, like, these games were like perfect length or whatever. I felt like I got an experience, all killer, no filler, in and out, and then move on to the next one. Like, there are so many games, and I have such a big backlog. I can't be playing games for 100 hours. I can't be playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes 175 bajillion hours to beat, because I got to get on to the next one or whatever. And we even saw that this year. There's so many games coming out that, like, it was hard to keep up.
You and I made hard decisions where we looked at the team. We said, okay, what am I going to play? Where are you going to play? What's Brady going to play? What's Shane going to play? How are we going to cover our bases? And it got to the point where we're like, damn, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon not only has the coolest name a game has ever had, but it's a game that we're not going to be able to get to. Even though it's a decently short game, we just had to make hard cuts, and you got to make those decisions. So when it's the choice between 4 10-hour games or 1 40-hour game, I agree. I would rather rock 4 10-hour games.
Like Starfield is long. I'm in Cyberpunk right now, long game, because I restarted from the beginning. But like, I want to play Fires of the Rubicon. I want to play Jedi Survivor. Just haven't gotten to them yet. November's looking a little light, so I think I might get to 1 or 2 of those, or both of them, in November, December. But yeah, man, like it's not that long games aren't necessary and not good for that kind of audience. I just think it's bleeding into the type of game that I love, the shorter, tighter game with like The Last of Us and God of War, that like it's kind of making me a little concerned now that we're not going to be getting these experiences anymore at the clip that I would like to get them. So that's kind of my hot take for this week. I don't think it's too spicy. I think a lot of people probably agree with me.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm going to come in swinging and go a little topical. Go a little something that's a bit more modern, a little bit more what's the haps right now.
I'm scared.
Connor, we are 9 days away from Spider-Man 2. So I want to look to the past a little bit and discuss my gaming hot take this week, why Spider-Man Miles Morales laps Spider-Man 2018. And it's not close.
Okay.
Let's just start out first and foremost that this game is the definition of all killer, no filler. Perfectly coming off your hot take about like the length of games. Spider-Man 1, sure, you can beat it in 14 to 17 to 20-ish hours. It's a great game. Great story. But the Mary Jane moments, the moment you're playing as Miles in 2018, spoils for 2018 and Miles Morales a little bit. I'm not going to try to spoil anything too big. It just is boring. It's slow. It's taxing. You want to be back as Peter swinging around. What does Spider-Man Miles Morales do? Puts you in the suit all 8 hours, puts you having a good time all 8 hours, give you that combat that is so great for 8 hours. The Spider-Man combat doesn't feel as good as Kratos. It doesn't feel as tight as something like The Last of Us. It doesn't feel as clean or technically impressive as something like a fighting game. But it's pure fun and magic when you get to do it. And it's not combat that you want to be playing 20 hours, but you do want around 8 hours. I can swing around that world for 100 hours, but the combat, around 8 to 10 hours is my sweet spot. Then we're talking about the story. Once again, all killer, no filler. There's not a reveal. There's not a villain wasted. Time wasted. The build up in this game and the payoffs are so fast and so furious. It legitimately, you are at peak the entire time. And that's my biggest issue with 2018. You are not hitting the peak the entire time. You're just having a decent time. Then let's just talk real quick about the setting. Twofold. Harlem. You get to actually experience what this city like is. You're on boots on ground, seeing and experiencing and smelling the world. It's awesome. But then there's nothing better. There's a reason Brady Goodall is playing this game in December. It's Christmas, baby. There's something about New York and Christmas. It is perfect. And getting to experience Christmas in New York as Miles, experiencing this world, is top notch. You do not get that same feeling in 2018 Spider-Man. I think that honestly Spider-Man 2018 is like an 8.5 out of 10. Like maybe even closer to an 8. Spider-Man Miles Morales is one of the greatest games of all time because it is all killer, no filler, all Spider-Man, all fun, all villains, all the time. And I can't wait for Brady to play it. I can't wait to replay it before Spider-Man. I love this game, and that is my gaming hot take for this week.
Can't say I disagree. I mean, I disagree that it's better. But I understand your argument here. It's the Last of Us Lost Legacy argument that I just think that
The Last of Us Lost Legacy?
The Last of Us Lost Legacy. Uncharted The Lost Legacy argument.
And you're an Uncharted Lost Legacy over 4, personally.
Yes, it's close, though. It's definitely very close.
Same, I think it's... I actually think it's a little bit broader for the gap between Legacy and 4.
I like the story of Spider-Man 1 more.
I think the story is terrific in Spider-Man 1, and I will say that, like, this is a hot take for a reason. It's something that I feel passionate about, and I do think that it contradicts what a lot of people think. But the story in 1, you have more time to breathe and experience these characters a little bit more fully. But I do think that it's boring at times. And that's, like, the thing that, if I am behind the sticks in a video game, the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is the amount of fun I'm having. Mm-hmm. Fun per minute, baby. That's the Nick Evans stat. That's all that matters to me. And so, games like Rock Band, Mario Kart, Mario Party, these fun things that I get to experience with my friends are some of my favorite games of all time because the fun per minute never stops. Spider-Man Miles Morales is just perfectly fun the entire time. It's a game that I beat once, from 6 a.m. when the PlayStation released until 8 p.m. that night. All I did was play that game, and then I beat it again throughout a week because I was just like, I just want to live in this world. I just want to be Spider-Man and experience the story. Like, this game made me cry. Spider-Man 1 did not hit the emotional level that
you're crazy.
It did.
Dude, the ending of Spider-Man 1 is brutally sad.
Oh, it's really sad, but it's not as sad as some of the moments in 2.
Whoa, that's wild to me. But I do agree on a broad sense on just not wanting to waste your time, like, or getting the right amount of Spider-Man. Like, for Spider-Man 1, I finished the main story and I did all the backpacks, I did some of the side stuff or whatever, and I was like, if I go for the platinum in this game, I'm gonna hate it by the end of it. Like, if I'm just doing the combat over and over again without that carrot on the end of the stick of story, I'm gonna end up not liking this game, and I'm at like a really good spot with it right now where I have like, it's like a really solid 8 out of 10, like, that I really love or whatever. And I was like, I just gotta bounce now, and I never came back to it, and I might eventually platinum it, but like, when I hear Spider-Man 2 is the same thing, it's like, yeah, great, perfect, I'm stoked.
Before we hop into our big topic, this just came to mind, and this is a little behind the scenes. We talk gaming not on the podcast literally all the time, like literally for hours during the week, and then obviously the streams too. But Final Fantasy 16, we know we're getting DLC for. This is a total non sequitur, by the way. Final Fantasy 16, we know we're getting DLC for. Mm-hmm. Jeff Keighley has a great relationship with Square. Do we get the reveal of DLC this early at Game Awards?
It's a matter of if they were lying when they said that they weren't planning on doing any DLC and weren't actively working on it when the game came out.
We know that there is DLC.
No, they lied when I'm saying they could have been lying when the game came out and said it's a completed game.
Yep.
We have no plans for DLC. We're not doing it, but if the fans really want it, we'll consider it. And
then they wanted it, and then they said they were
doing it. That could have just been a lie that they always planned it.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine it probably is a lie that they always planned on
it.
But
I mean, the assets are there for a majority of this game.
It's still one of the best looking games ever made. Like, I imagine there's some legwork certainly to be done, especially if it's beefy.
Yeah.
It's like the Leviathan DLC, like we all kind of think it's going to be. Then I think you have to have like a whole new map, a whole new area probably, which would be awesome. I would love a third, because there's only 2 like main areas in Final Fantasy 16. It's I guess Waloed kind of counts or whatever, but that area sucks. It's totally, you know what I'm talking about? The last area like was so disappointing to me that like it wasn't like a whole nother Dalmekia. You know what I'm talking about? Like the sandy area. Like, I wanted that area to be snowy.
Ooh.
And the fact that it wasn't snowy, I was like,
what are we doing here?
That seemed so perfect. You have one like grassy area, you have one sandy area. Now
give
me a snowy area. Like, I love this is a weird like thing to love about games. I love a snowy area.
Oh yeah.
And it always feels like the culmination for a game. It's like, oh, we're going to the snowy area.
Yep.
It's about to get real.
That's Uncharted 2, Fortnite Season 7. You know, just when you get to that snowy
Death Stranding has like a snowy
yeah.
area towards the end that's really harrowing and
yeah.
exciting.
All right, that was a total non sequitur. I literally
well, that's for the
in my
people who
head.
actually get to listen to the podcast or whatever. We know people actually listen
Yeah.
to the podcast now all the way through, which is crazy. Shout out Akon.
Yeah, shout out to just actually anyone that watches this all the way through. The average viewership on these are actually terrific, and for the people that watch the whole thing. So we just thank you a lot. So thank you for enjoying this, and yeah, hop into a stream, enjoy the TikToks, and
and I apologize for any hiccups with like what we had at the beginning, where we are also shooting TikToks as well during the podcast, but you get to see how the sausage is made a little bit. Where we might have to restart every once in a while and figure it out, but we'll get better about it as we go along.
Oh yeah, we're hopping back into doing content full time, basically for the first time in a long time.
Having more success with it now than we've
ever seen,
which is insane. I mean, I feel like we should once again
just
say
thank you.
I
feel like every single time we need to say thank you for every single podcast we do. It's just unbelievable.
Right.
Like I got to talk to a buddy a few days ago, and he's like, What happened? Like I literally checked the TikTok page like 2 weeks ago. What the heck happened? I'm like, oh,
it's crazy. Yeah, we don't really understand it.
We're doing well on time.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Yeah, it's only
perfect.
We're good.
Let's hop into the big topic.
Big topic this week: mergers and acquisitions. Very exciting, hot button topic going on in the industry right now.
Activision's about to close. It looks like October-ish, late October. It's going to happen. So
wild. It looked rocky there for a while. I thought for a moment that it wasn't going to happen.
If it's one of those things that like the people and the lawyers were like, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, and so I held hope. Also, it's one of those things that I'm like, if you got enough money, you get things done. And Activision and Microsoft got enough money to get things done.
It's not that I don't want Xbox to succeed and don't think it's going to be like a good deal for them. It's just that I don't want any of these to happen.
Yeah.
I want to preface this whole conversation that if I had it my way, nobody would be purchased and everybody would stay independent because I think that's best for the consumer and best for the industry. And
most of the time, best for the company too, to try to remain creative control and just literally everything.
Exactly, like the original. But we're the genie's out of the bottle now. Like we're moving towards this no matter what, and we have to kind of recognize that, and that leads to discussions like this.
It's funny because I'll never forget. I'm in college. I'm walking out of the library, and I get the news about the Activision deal, and I was like, this is never really happened on this scale before. Bethesda was like a big purchase, but Activision is a whole nother level.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah,
I saw it and I was like, this is fake.
And then I remember leaving class. I actually did go to class every now and then. I remember leaving class at college being like, holy shit, PlayStation bought Bungie. And like what that means for certain things, especially where we live in the world where Microsoft has a lot more money than Sony does for acquisitions. And like certain acquisitions make certain sense for certain partnerships. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be going down the list a little bit, hitting some of the big hitters. But I just think that as a whole, certain things make so much sense that things should just happen at a certain point. I do think that we will get to the point in this conversation where we will be not, do you think this is going to happen? But when do you think that this is going to happen?
I do think it's important to kind of discuss the different apparent strategies. Because I think if Sony had their druthers, they wouldn't buy anybody at this point. Because they have fostered really good relationships with the likes of like Capcom and Square Enix. That like, they don't need to buy them. They can... why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Like
they're just getting those Final Fantasy exclusives left and right, dude.
I heard somebody say that they speculated that if Sony wanted to get Final Fantasy 16 exclusive, then they would have to take Forspoken as well. Which I think is interesting.
It's my thought process behind GTA is the reason that GTA shows up at PlayStation stuff is because they want the exclusive for GTA 6 when it comes out.
Dude, that would be
not a console exclusive, but the announcement exclusive.
Yeah, the announcement and like all the
you get 5,000 free Rockstar bucks and
maybe like potential DLC.
Yep.
Early,
I genuinely think that is the reason that hey, the PS5 comes out. What's the first game that gets discussed on that announcement video? GTA 5.
Dude, give me GTA DLC, single player DLC on the next one. Come on.
Yeah. Load me up with it.
Dude, Liberty City Stories, or sorry, that's the package. Ballad of Gay Tony and In the Damned. Lost in the Damned, I think is what it's called. Dude, like some of the best DLC ever made for GTA 4.
Yeah.
So good. Can't believe we didn't get one for GTA 5. I'm getting sidetracked.
Anyways, but yeah, I generally think that there are certain that's how certain deals work and make sense. Is they go and they start with a heavy hitter like, hey, you give us this, we'll bring this along with it.
Right.
You think Foam Stars got like the spotlight that it has thus far because it's Foam Stars? No, it's because they want that other goodness.
I do
on the
wonder if
side.
Sony just noticed that game is good. And they were like, "We'll actually take it."
Yeah.
It looks a little ridiculous, but apparently it's good. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to hop in with you. Get soapy, dude. It's gonna be fun.
It'll
Anyways,
be fun.
let's just start. Do you think that Sony buys
Square Enix?
Square?
No. I think they're probably the best candidate at this point.
Yeah, I mean, these types of studios are not going to be bought by Xbox. Cap isn't going to be bought by Xbox. Sega
It's just because they don't.
I
I think Sega has a. We can talk about this now.
Okay.
Sega, I think, is the only Japanese publisher.
They're the only one that they could. Yeah.
I mean, they could technically do anybody because they have enough cash, but they have a relationship, a rapport with them at this point. With the Persona series, with the Yakuza series, they're very much associated or trying to be associated with Xbox at this point.
With Atlas, do you think that Atlas could go?
Not separate from
Or do you
Sega.
think you get the whole Sega built?
Sega owns them.
Yeah, I know, but do you think that they could get a subsect of Sega?
No, I think you get all of
All of
Sega.
it.
And if they have the cash to do it, they
will.
They would try, probably. It just doesn't make any sense because Xbox does not sell in Japan. So you would just really be hoping that you can move units with Sega games.
Yeah.
And can you? Persona, yes. Yakuza, is Yakuza big in Japan?
I don't know.
I don't know how big it is in general. I think it does moderately.
I was just about to say,
well.
in general, I don't think it does.
It does well. It does well enough to
Yeah.
get a million sequels or whatever. So like clearly it's pretty good. But I don't know how like much of a massive seller it is for Sega. And then you have Sonic, which I mean, people like Sonic. Like, even when Sonic is bad, it's good.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like pizza. Like it's just it's just people like their Sonic.
Let
like,
me get my reheated Sonic, let me get my cold Sonic, and then let me get my
Speaking
good
of
Sonic.
Sonic, I kind of want to play Frontiers.
Oh, I was about to say, can we play some Superstars when it comes out in a couple weeks?
Yeah, definitely.
I want like, we're so busy with streaming. Like, I kind of wish that we started up last year, just in the sense that we could have been a lot more creative with the streams. Where it's like, right now we're playing Baldur's Gate, then Mario Wonder.
Dude, I cannot wait to play Mario Wonder on stream.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so fun.
That's gonna be probably a highlight of.
It's also like one of those games that you can kind of talk to chat well.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking to chat. We're gonna be shooting the shit.
I just feel like I'm missing stuff when we're playing Baldur's Gate. Like,
Oh,
constantly.
dude! Like Baldur's Gate is. It's gonna be nice to have Shane up here for Baldur's Gate.
we're gonna need help. Yeah, for sure.
He's gonna be like, so how did you guys get this far, this low level? And we're like, like that. Us fighting those goblins, we should not have gone as far as we did. But that's
Did you talk to Shane about that?
No,
Okay.
not that exact.
It just felt like we shouldn't.
Oh yeah, we were fighting like 48 people, and we somehow survived. It was crazy.
I do like in Baldur's Gate how it makes you every level up makes you feel like a lot more powerful. Like 7 or 8 additional HP. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That feels like a lot. Anyways, Sega, I think yes, and I think Xbox does buy them eventually.
What year are we talking about?
I think they need to lick their wounds a little bit from the Activision stuff and kind of.
They need to chill. They will not be able to buy certain things.
I don't really want to put a year on any of these. I just think,
okay,
will it happen?
I think that the year discussion is, will it happen this generation? If it does,
no.
And so I would say, as of right now, the only people that have the bandwidth and the ability by law to buy something is Sony or something smaller for Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, where I think Sega is bigger than Ubisoft purchase wise. Like, if money it would take to get, like, Ubisoft is trying to sell itself right now.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to kind of think of the IP as well, though. Like Assassin's Creed and like Watch Dogs.
I don't know if that's hitting as hard as
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed's the one,
Yeah.
but I'm saying we're talking.
I can't believe it's
Sonic,
Watch Dogs in the same breath.
Yeah, we're talking Sonic. We're talking Persona. We're talking Yakuza. I think that those go.
These are more niche
that.
than Assassin's Creed though. Like Assassin's Creed is like
I know they sell a fuck ton.
Huge. Like
yeah. I'm excited to see Mirage sales numbers this year.
Yeah, because it's not reviewing well.
It's not reviewing horribly.
Yeah.
It's reviewing a lot like an Assassin's Creed game.
No, it's not. These Assassin's Creed games used to review really well.
Yeah, I mean, Valhalla took a dip from Odyssey, and Odyssey was like good.
You already know that Ubisoft's looking at this and being like, well, people don't want the short Assassin's Creed games.
We're going
and
big.
Like, oh my god, like you're learning the wrong lesson if you just made a good short Assassin's Creed game.
I want Assassin's Creed Red to be 10 hours, and I will play the fuck out of it.
Yeah, but it's not going. It's going to be Valhalla.
Oh yeah, totally,
100%. I will play that as well.
Oh yeah, same.
I loved Odyssey, but I played it for 30 hours and probably played less than a third of it.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Huge.
Like it's stupid.
Anyway, so Ubisoft does it. I think that this is my. There's two that, and I'll just throw them in here right now to keep the ball rolling. I think Ubisoft and I think that Supergiant get bought this console generation.
How much money do you think Supergiant even goes for?
Oh, less than that's chump change. We're talking like 300 mil. Maybe less?
It is crazy to think how much Sony paid for Insomniac.
How much did they pay?
It was in the hundreds of millions.
Oh yeah, it's
and they literally carried the PS5 this entire generation.
And they're going to continue to carry the PS5. Realistically, we got Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, probably 2 more games by 2027.
Yeah, so like Ratchet, Miles, and Spider-Man 2.
Remastered also in there.
Yeah,
and slash PC.
So three games, and most of them haven't even put out. Most of the Sony developers haven't put out one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also got things like Naughty Dog had factions that I think that if they had their druthers would have been out this year.
We can't even start talking about
that
because it'll be a whole other thing. I don't think Ubisoft gets bought. I think you have a better shot of them offloading franchises, but also they're pivoting. I think this is kind of like their Wii U to Nintendo Switch situation where it's like this is their moment. If they can't figure it out, then they're screwed. Apparently the next Far Cry is going to be like Deathloop. You hear about this?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's going to like you have to like kill everybody on the island in like a certain amount of time or whatever. Like there's like a day.
Sign me up.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And I like Far Cry games. I just haven't played one in a while. There's the same thing over and over again. So if you're really going to shake it up like that, I hope they go balls to the wall on it and really change it up and do something really interesting, get me back in and hopefully others back in. But and then Assassin's Creed Red, they're finally doing the Japanese Assassin's Creed. Like it seems like they're pulling out a lot of stops right now that maybe down the line they're for sale, but right now I think no.
Okay. And then so
in the same way that I think WB was trying to offload all of their franchises. I think that could happen.
I also think that WB is trying to sell on the cheap, where they're like, we haven't released a phenomenal thing in a long time, and so
they're not going to either.
Yeah,
Suicide Squad looks.
Wait, Game of the Year Suicide Squad?
Game of the Year last year, Game of the Year this year,
and Game of the Year next year, dude. Suicide Squad.
Is there a chance that game just never comes out?
No, it'll come out. You can't, like, literally.
You could write it off though. Companies love doing that nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that comes out anyway. So Square, we both don't think it bought this generation. I
think Sony just keeps fostering that relationship, and then probably next generation they could possibly make a move. And it really depends if I think Activision forces Sony's hand to make a big move.
That's the thing where the big move was Bungie originally, but we're talking about
they don't even own them.
We're talking
they don't like own them.
But we're talking about like a $3 billion deal versus a like $70 billion deal.
They just don't have money to
it's so small potatoes. And the thing is though, Microsoft doesn't get it. They care more about IP, where Sony cares more about the games.
They can't even manage the IP that they have.
That's what I'm saying. Where like they need.
I don't want Sony to get too big. If Sony gets too big, then the quality starts to dip.
Well, I completely agree. But what I'm saying is the IP that Sony would be bringing in. Let's just say if it was Square, they know how Square works. They know to let them sort of do the thing. Same thing with Bungie. They're going to just let Bungie be Bungie.
Right.
Like, they're not coming in being like,
So
they're
you think-
also
you think
having
they buy-
Bungie help them.
You think they buy Square Enix and then they say you don't have to be exclusive?
Oh, I think they would absolutely be
They
exclusive.
do that with Bungie.
But that's a player-based situation. Bungie Games needs a player base.
I think they wouldn't have accepted the sale had they not.
Yeah,
been
it's been able to say,
independent.
yeah, I get that. But I do think that, like, something like Supergiant to me is the most money in the bank. Hades 2 comes out. It's gonna review well. It's almost like Team Cherry with Hollow Knight. Like, just give that team. If you sign them and then give them a fuck ton of money, just like back up the truckload. Let's get these games out. Let's get these guys on a 3-year cycle or 4-year cycle where they're coming out with 2 games a generation. Because right now, what is happening to Xbox is they are completely mishandling their IP. They don't really know what they're doing. Things like Call of Duty, they care about money, and they're going to make a fuck ton of it. It's with something like Call of Duty, Candy Crush, they're going to make their money. But Diablo 5, when it comes out, they're going to make their money. PlayStation's in a spot where they care about the games. None of us want the live service games. But I'm saying, if they come out and buy one, like, Capcom is, you called them Crapcom on Connect 4 a couple weeks ago, and that used to be the nickname. That used to be the funny thing. Dude, Street Fighter 6 and RE4 are 2 of the best games this year.
They don't miss.
They are both top 10 Metacritic game for the year. They don't miss. There's a little game called Monster Hunter that's going to come out probably next year. That's not going to miss. DMC, that's not going to miss. Any fighting game that they want to make, that's not going to... Like, they are at the top of the actual quality game. Where, like, anything that comes out from Microsoft first party, I'm like, I don't know if the quality's going to be there. Capcom releases a $70 big budget game, you know the quality's going to be there.
Right.
The RE engine, beautiful. Like, it's high tier. So I think that Capcom, another thing that Sony could buy for not too much cash. Like, it almost feels like it's like the Oakland A's and Moneyball being like, all right, this is Johnny Damon is Activision.
Right.
Get him off your payroll. We don't need Johnny Damon. Bring on Team Cherry and Supergiant. Bring on Insomniac for millions of dollars.
That's what they've always done too. They've always fostered the relationships with smaller studios and then like built them up and then purchased them after a few games or whatever. I prefer that option.
Housemarque and Bluepoint are going to release Game of the Year contending titles. Whereas Bethesda's Bethesda. They are huge. They're terrific, but Starfield's not. Starfield, I keep on thinking about the fact that Starfield got a 7 out of 10 for IGN. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
So crazy to me. I mean, I think it's better than a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Also,
I think it's worse. I think that game's boring. The Nick Evans fun per minute is so low in that game.
The fun per minute is definitely pretty low.
What are we doing then?
I like to be immersed in a world, and it depends on what you're kind of really looking for.
I know, but like you want to immerse me in a world, thrust me into a story, make me feel like I need to be playing this game. Let my waking hours be consumed with the fact that I want to be back in that world, and I didn't have that. Anyway,
this isn't the shit talk Starfield section. I love Starfield.
By the way, that was potentially going to be my hot take, that Starfield is a legitimately bad game. But that's a hot take for another day.
That would have started a shitstorm.
What?
That would have started a shitstorm in the comments.
Oh man, that will be next week's, because we love the comments. We love we just drop the bomb and then everyone else just has their opinions and then like
just bring up The Last of Us Part 2 in any video and the audience will take it from there.
Oh yeah, I think that was the most comments I've ever seen on any thread. Ever.
And it started with like just a little flame, and
then it just
kept
like
festering.
The Last of Us 2 should be there, and then The Last of Us sucked, and then you suck, and then I was like, what?
And it got really escalated. Whatever. You guys can have your fun. From Software.
That's
Bandai Namco. Publisher, but
so if they were to partner with someone, it would be Sony,
because they already own a stake in them.
Yeah,
apparently.
I mean, Demon's Souls, Bloodborne. We're talking about Sony games. We're talking about those being basically, they're not first party, but they're exclusives.
If I'm Sony, I'm going to them with the biggest possible bag that I have. That would be the biggest get. That would be the biggest get for me, and I think a lot of gamers for any major publisher to lock down a major console.
Because once again, we're talking about IP versus actual quality of games. Where sure, Dark Souls is now a bigger IP and it's a largely discussed game, and Elden Ring is one of the biggest titles ever to release from also turning head standpoint. Where Elden Ring would be a Souls game had never been the talk of the town like the way it was with Elden Ring.
Yeah,
and so to go and bring on something where also AC6, not just the coolest game name ever, but apparently a phenomenal game. If they brought them on, it genuinely would be a needle mover for a lot of people. Where I think a lot of people would say, you spent $70 billion for Activision when you could have gotten From for $3.
I take From Software over every.
From a gamer
on
standpoint, you say that, but from a business standpoint, from
100%.
Microsoft, COD makes $1 bajillion every year, not just from sales numbers, but from season passes and just loadouts and whatever. It's that makes them more money, and that's why it's $70 billion. It isn't just IP, but it is in-game purchases that FromSoft doesn't have. But from a gaming standpoint, from our standpoint, FromSoft is the MVP of this console generation thus far, most likely when it comes to a developer standpoint, if you take overall Nintendo out of the picture.
So Elden Ring and Armored Core is the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's them versus InSong.
Yeah. I would say From Software is probably...
Yeah, I think it's better.
Higher. Yeah. I agree. And I think that talking about Xbox's strategy right now, kind of cornering a more casual audience, the people who buy Call of Duty every year and buy their console to play Call of Duty, they're getting them now. That is their people.
But for me, I'm kind of happy about that, because inevitably when I bite the bullet and buy a Series S, just because I want the comfortability of having an Xbox in my house and use it as my Game Pass machine instead of using my PC Game Pass, I'll probably play a good amount of third parties on my Xbox instead.
Right. I love it. I mean, I have the same kind of idea in my head as well. I really would like to get a Series S, or honestly a Series X at some point.
Yeah. One of us needs to get a Series X. One of us needs the big boy for the big open worldies, and that's your bad.
But I want to play the big open world games on my PC. I just need to get a better PC at this point.
I don't.
But anyways, the other strategy that I think that Sony should go towards is just really corner the hardcore Japanese centered gamer, the one who wants to play the JRPGs, the one who wants to play the FromSoft games or whatever. You need to go after them, because we're gonna lose on that front at the very least. Yeah. You can pay $70 every year for Call of Duty on PlayStation, or you can play it for free on Game Pass. That is a tough sell. Yeah. But if you have people already ingrained like I am, I'm not moving if they don't lock down the games that I really care about on Xbox.
We're talking. Phil Spencer came out and literally said, it's not about the games anymore, folks. And as people that have a podcast about gaming, we couldn't disagree more.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part, where they really just don't give a fuck about having great games. They care about people being in the ecosystem and playing a lot of different games. Game Pass is not only the best deal in gaming, but right now they're also making strategic moves to get things like Starfield, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, Cocoon.
Yeah. All great games.
All great games. Cocoon is going to be in my top 10 this year, most likely, and not just because it's horrific, but because it does everything right in its Game Pass. I would not have played that game ever if it wasn't on Game Pass. In 2022, we watched that showcase. We're like, this looks awesome. Game Pass allows us to play that. I feel like it is the definition of the gaming showcase happens, and then it pops up with Game Pass, and you say, I can actually play that, compared to something that whatever opened the walking sim that opened the last day to play. I was like, cool, I'm not going to play that. But if it was subscription service, let's just fuck around one night.
That probably is going to PlayStation Plus Premium. 100%. Yeah. That seems like a perfect game to launch on that platform.
Any other hitters we want to mention?
We hit Capcom, Square Enix, Sega,
from
Ubisoft,
EA.
Could be bought by Disney, apparently.
Yeah, that would be dumb.
The Disney relationship was so bad during the Star Wars deal that I can't believe that's even conversation that is being had right now. Unless they like totally wipe the management when they go in and buy it. Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of people say that Activision and Xbox should do. They want, if they're like, if you want to run a company really well, just have Bobby Kotick. Like, unfortunately, he's good at running companies. He's a horrible person, but like, just have him run it, because at least Activision was successful and Xbox hasn't been or whatever. Like, you should just do the same thing with EA. You got to just knock everybody out at the top there and move it in. But I hope none of that happens. Like, please, jeez. So EA, no. I think that basically covers most of it, right?
Yeah. There's no indie studios that I want to mention other than the...
I think if Helldivers as well, Sony will acquire Arrowhead.
Yeah, that checks.
That's what Sony does. They like we said, they foster relationships and they put out a game and kind of see how you do or whatever. We're seeing that now, that's changing with Haven and Fire Sprite and studios like that, which, fingers crossed that it's okay, but like... Helldivers 1, great. It came out in like
forever
2014 or something, like on the Vita. Like, it's been a long time, so they clearly had some trouble getting this game out.
Do we see Helldivers 2 at Game Awards? Quick thing.
I could see it being shown.
I think pre-show. I think that's a perfect pre-show. Just let us know that like
it's coming. A beta announcement or something like that. They didn't announce a beta or anything.
I think they might have, but like an open beta.
Yeah. All right. Are we satisfied?
Yeah. Let's draft it up today. We are drafting.
Can you restart that? I was talking during.
I just waited and I said we were drafting right after I said we were drafting. You were not. I said today you were, and they allowed me to shut up.
I started talking though.
Anyways,
we're trying to do it right.
Today we are drafting video game mascots. We've listened to the feedback. We will do a snake draft
for the fans.
Do you want first pick or do you want me to have first pick?
I'll take first. No, I want second pick.
I was about to say. I am going to go... Oh, having second pick is a lot better in this draft now that it's a snake. Okay. I'll take Mario.
You have to.
There is someone else that I would rather have, personally, but I'll take Mario.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's got to be the 1.01. I mean, the most famous plumber ever, clearly. And I'm going to take the most famous green man alive. Master Chief.
You're going gray? You mean green?
Oh, man. Do you want to read?
No, you're good. I'm going to give you shit. Go ahead. Do you want to redo it, guys? This is what you get to see on the podcast. You get to see the mistakes. All right, redo it.
I'm trying to make jokes and trying to like come up with stuff on the fly, and I'm just like falling over myself or whatever. So where should I even jump in from?
With the 102?
With the 102, I'm going to go Master Chief. Xbox icon. I need a whip.
I felt like you were about to be like Yale University. like you're literally at the podium drafting this man with the gun, with the AR, dude.
You know, you got to get it in there. And then with the my second pick, I'm going to take the Coot. Crash Bandicoot. PS1 icon. Fortunately, not with PlayStation anymore, but you gotta love the Coot.
Connor, there's only, I believe, one thing on this set 2 times. I'm taking for my next mascot, Pikachu.
Oh,
Give me Pikachu. I wanted Pikachu first overall, because Pokemon is sometimes even bigger than anything in gaming. It is so iconic. There's no one more iconic. And give me Pikachu with the 102. And then, it's close. I might just take a personal pick at the end, but I'll just take my man, and you can toss him my way. Give me the Blades of Chaos. I'm taking Kratos. I'll take the Blades. Yeah. Oh.
So is that the 102 or the?
I'm at the
202.
Not the 102. I'm taking.
Now you're in the 301.
The 301. I'm taking with my third pick, Kratos.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I have a few options here.
I'm smoking you right now, by the way.
I don't think so. The question is Link a mascot?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take Link, and I really don't think he is a mascot, personally, but he because Mario has always felt like the bigger deal for like the broader spectrum of Nintendo. But yeah, I'll go Link. I'll get my Mario in here. Yeah, I got everything right now. I I got Nintendo, I got Xbox, and I got PlayStation. We're good to go.
Wait, what's your next pick?
Oh, shoot,
The snake.
I got another one.
Snake.
For our fans, I gotta go with a PS2 mascot. With PS2, you got 3 options. For the fans, we're going with the Coop. Sly Cooper. Come on.
I literally had to change the extra life thermometer to put Sly Cooper on.
Dude, our fans love Sly Cooper.
They love Sly Cooper so much.
And we love it too, but man, like, you guys are next level with the Coop.
Great. I'm gonna take Sonic with my next pick.
Yeah.
You're just handing me the draft, in my opinion. Unless
No
the
way.
people get in the comments for Sly Cooper and just be like, well, that's it. He won. He got Coop. And to close it out, I'm going to go with the most personal pick possible. I'm just taking my claim and saying that this will be the next mascot for Xbox. Marcus Phoenix, get him out of here.
Oh no. He's gone.
Like, he's gone. People that say Gears of War in the Trilogy draft, play Gears of 1 again. If you play Gears of 1 again this year and tell me that's a good game, then you can get at me in the comments. But that game sucks. Yeah. The people that have played it recently, not just Connor, but people that I've seen on stream are like, and watching that game on stream, I'm like,
it's rough, dude.
And I know Gears of 2 and 3 are better, but like still, like, not one of the greatest trilogies of all time. It's just Gears of 1 takes it down too much. Anyways, get Marcus Phoenix out of here. Give me the new Xbox mascot. I've already smoked you in this draft that I'm able to just throw away this pick, basically. Give me my guy Chai from Hi-Fi Rush. Whoa. The man with the guitar, 808 next to him, genuinely going to be Xbox's big mascot. Best Xbox game they've released in the past decade. Hi-Fi Rush. Chai.
I have one more pick, right?
Yeah, that's how that works, right? You got Link, you got
Master
Coop.
Chief, Cooper, and
Who's your second?
Bandicoot.
Yeah. You got one more.
I don't even know if that counts.
My pick?
Yeah, that's loose.
Okay, well, I think that it works well enough to give you a chance.
Okay.
And also, I think it's going to be a little bit of a hot take.
Yeah, you did get Mario and Sonic.
I got Mario, Sonic, Kratos, Pikachu. I think that might be my top 4 that I read on my list. I actually have Link in there. Or I have Chief in there, too.
I have a few options here. I can go Sackboy. I can go Ratchet.
I didn't.
Or I can go. Oh. Well, the PS2 has 3.
Oh no, I didn't. I literally didn't write it on my list. I think that's a great choice.
There's a whole PlayStation Move video game with the 3 on PS3. You familiar with this?
Not the Move
game.
It's
like PlayStation Heroes or something with Sly Cooper, Jack, and Ratchet. Or
that's
whatever.
awesome.
Yeah, it's apparently not very good, but it's crazy that it happened.
Are you not going to take the PlayStation 3 mascot? The PlayStation mascot that might be bigger than Kratos?
Yeah, I feel like I have to. With my last pick, I'm going to go with Nathan Drake. Yeah, I feel like I have to. In my heart, I kind of want to go Sackboy. I love Little Big Planet. I feel like we got to bring it back. That was such a great time in my life, sharing levels, making levels and everything. Even just the single player was amazing.
The late night sleepovers playing Little Big Planet were truly a treat. Playing some basketball every now and then.
We were in the lab, dude, making levels and everything. But Uncharted's too powerful.
It's dude, freaking Mark Wahlberg's in it. What? Tom Holland.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie.
Oh yeah, no, but generally, if you did not take that pick, I think it would have been a throwaway. Yeah. Any other things in consideration before we close out the podcast?
Well, you don't even keep these in, and so you let us get flamed by the chat.
Oh yeah, that's the fun
part. Yeah.
No, how did you not talk about so and so?
No, I had Mario, Chief, Bandicoot, Link, Sly Cooper, Sonic, Pikachu, Kratos, Sackboy, Ratchet.
No DK?
No, and didn't even have.
Didn't
even have Drake on my list.
I had DK. I had Drake. I'm missing a couple, man. I had Marcus Phoenix from Gears.
I feel like it's the same situation with Link with Xbox, where like Marcus Phoenix is like an icon for Xbox, but like he's not a mascot because the Chief has always just been the mascot or whatever. He's always been the guy.
I think that Ellie and Mega Man are 2 that need to be mentioned.
Mega Man's not. No.
Pac-Man? Pac-Man could have been. Could have been just for the arcade mascot.
I thought about that as well.
What did you think about Sora / Cloud?
No.
Cloud was the one to choose if you're going to choose something like that.
No, because even on the PS1, I almost think that like Parappa the Rappa or the Ape Escape Apes or whatever, or Max, I think is like the guy's name that you play as. Like that would have been.
What about Leon?
It's not a mascot; it's just an iconic character.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's got to really associate with.
You think a console generation?
Yeah.
I think though that like
almost Luigi, I feel like is more
iconic,
or like more like of a mascot than those that we just discussed. This is important for the audience that actually watches this. You got to defend us in these draft chats or whatever. Know that we are talking about and discussing all of the characters that are not brought up. Go in the comments.
I definitely think that we need to record Connect Fours with the audience seeing it, because like things like the Monster Hunter World thing where you're like, we discuss these things. Like we don't just like post things without like
figuring it
out or discussing or looking things up. Even if we look up the wrong thing every now and then, at least we looked it up and tried.
100%.
Like it's definitely funny how that works. Got anything else?
No, that was a tight 50 minutes or so. Yeah.
I mean, do we want to discuss any future podcasts as we're coming down the line?
For like what we're doing later on.
So I definitely think that this is important. Well, first and foremost, if you see this Thursday or Friday morning or Saturday even, we are doing Extra Life. It's a 24-hour stream. Go and check that out on Co-op 64 Twitch. Other than that, Game Awards is coming up. We will be doing probably 3 to 4 Game Awards type podcasts in November and December.
Guessing what we think is going to be nominated.
Guessing what will be nominated. I will be reacting to what actually is nominated. We will then be guessing the nominees within the Game Awards. Then we will be doing our personal Game Awards list. That's 4 podcasts.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to be doing our own...
That was the last one.
No, we're going to be doing our own Game Awards list? Or
that's what I was saying.
Game
Game of the Year list.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that will be done after probably the week after, before we go on winter style break where I leave for a week and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are we gonna shoot? We're gonna shoot.
Oh yeah, well, there'll still be TikToks going up throughout that whole time.
That's
and everything.
important for me.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
We never miss a talk.
We don't miss a talk, and also congrats on 1 month of doing this, being back in the game.
Crazy, craziest month of my life.
Yeah, easily the craziest 10 days of my life have been these 10 days.
The fact that it's only been 10 days of like actually getting some sort of traction on this is crazy.
We posted on Saturday, and it's been
feels like a
2
lifetime,
Wednesdays.
Dude.
Yeah,
Lifetime.